In today's video, I want to show you on how you can make a meal planner, kitchen inventory tracker, and a shopping list as well on Google Sheets, so that way you can plan out your meals throughout the week, along with keeping track of what items and ingredients are in your kitchen and what you need to buy as well. Now this should be relatively easy to make, and without further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay, so here I am on a new Google Sheets document. Now the first thing that I want to do is obviously I want to kind of make the meal planner. It's kind of a table, but since there's already cells here, we're going to convert them and make it into the table themselves. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to leave the first one just titling it meal planner, you know, just writing it simple, exactly what it is. Now what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to leave the first column here, second row blank, and I'm going to start going to the B column and typing, you know, the different meals of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and start with breakfast. We're going to go with lunch. We're going to go with dinner, and then we're going to go with any snacks that you're going to have throughout the day. Now I love snacking, so that one I can't miss. But I'm gonna go ahead and select the columns here by dragging the top letters here of the column, so B, C, D, E. Go ahead and hit right click on your computer and click resize. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the sizes up just because they're a little squished right now. You're gonna be putting in some information there. I'm gonna change it to 200. As you can see here, the default value is 100, but making it 200 will just kind of double it. So just like this, it's gonna be perfect. Now, if it is gonna be a little too big for you, a little too long, you can also change it to 150, which actually is what I might do now that I think about it. I kind of want more space on the right-hand side here for later. Now that we have this here, I'm gonna go ahead and select this row 1 here that says meal planner. This is just for titling purposes. You don't really need it, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit merge here. It says merge cells. Go ahead and click that, and now you can see that all of these cells merge into one. I'm gonna center the text as well by clicking this horizontal align here, hitting center. I'm gonna resize the font to maybe about 24, just like that. That's perfect. I'm gonna bold it just because it's a title, and bam, there we have our meal planner section of the sheet. Now I could go ahead and also center this as well, the little titles here, by hitting horizontal align, same thing, and hit center. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put down the days of the week, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way up to Sunday. I'm gonna go ahead and select 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4 cells here that are on column A, starting on rows 3 to 6. So whatever's under these meal titles, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do exactly what you may think. I'm gonna merge them actually. So when I hit merge cells, all those 4 rows are gonna merge. And now the great thing about this is you can actually start dragging this merge out and dragging it down. So if you click that cell that's already been merged, and you find this blue circle down here and you drag it down. So I want to show you an example. Okay, I'm just gonna drag it down. It doesn't matter like how many rows, but if you drag it down like that, now you have 2 merge cells like this, right? If you select 2 of them this time and you're gonna drag it down like so, now you have 4 merge cells. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now since there are 7 days of the week, I'm just gonna select all 4 of these merge cells and do it one last time. So now you have 8. A little bit too much, but that's okay. Because what you can do here is you can select the last one here, the 8th one, and just hit the merge again, and what they'll do is just unmerge it. Okay, so if I went a little too fast, you may have to rewind that a little bit, but you just merge it, basically drag it down, so now you have 7 identical merge cells here. Now what I'm gonna do with these 7 is I'm gonna pay close attention. So if I type Monday, for example, it's just gonna align down to the bottom like so. I don't want that. I want it to be centered, right? So horizontal line, center. I want it to be vertically center as well. So horizontal line is center, vertical line is going to be middle. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bold it. So I'm gonna do exactly that, but to every single one of them now. So I'm gonna go ahead and click center again. Go ahead and click vertical line again. So every single one of those cells are doing this now. And I'm gonna go ahead and unbold and bold. So all the 7 cells here are all bolded. So if I do Tuesday, you can see it does that. If I do Wednesday, you can see exactly what it's doing, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but instead of typing out Monday, I'm just gonna do Mon, like just abbreviation, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday here, SAT for Saturday, and SUN for Sunday. Now you can kind of see it's taking up a little bit of space here. So what I can do is I'm gonna go ahead and select all of them again. Now this time I'm gonna go ahead and actually rotate the words 90 degrees. And the way I'm gonna do that is if you go over here you can see that the text rotation is going straight left to right. I want it to read from bottom to top. So I'm gonna click this one right here, rotate up. And now if I click that, you can see that all my my words here are all rotated. So I have looking like this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now I'm just gonna increase the font size a little bit to about maybe 14 or 13. Let's do about 13. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do here is I'm gonna go just shrink the column size. So the column size that I've done is a little bit too like wide. So I'm gonna go ahead and shrink it down just like this. Perfect. Now what I can do is I could select all of them, give them a color code. So maybe I'll do a little bit of, let's do blue, like so. The meal titles, I'm gonna go ahead and actually increase their font size here as well to about 14. Go ahead and bold them, and I'm gonna change the color of the cell to maybe this orange right here. Perfect. Now, what I'm gonna do again is exactly the same thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click this, right? I'm gonna select this breakfast on Monday, and I'm selecting these 4 cells because it's technically supposed to be one giant cell, and you already know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna go ahead and merge it. I'm gonna go ahead and change the centering so it's centered, and the vertical alignment so it's in the middle. So whatever I type here, for example, if I do eggs and pancakes, right, you can see that it's in the middle, vertically and horizontally aligned in the middle. Now what I can do is I'm gonna go ahead and drag this out. So 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So I can see all the merged cells kind of apply here. And I'm gonna go ahead and select all these 4, same thing, drag it down all the 7 rows all the way till Sunday. Now you can see here that we have just made a very, very simple meal planner that you can actually just write down what you want for the meals, right? You want, for example, breakfast on Monday, eggs, right, and pancakes. Lunch, I don't know, what do you want for lunch? For example, I want mashed potatoes and chicken nuggets, right? Now, you can see over here, we've actually encountered an issue because it's actually kind of over, like, it's going over the cell, right? We can't read. I just see ED, potatoes, and chicken N, right? That makes no sense. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you select all your cells here. Click over here on text wrapping, and by default it's going to have overflow, which is exactly what it's doing. But you know what you want? You want to wrap the text, so it just does that instead. Now you can see here, you can beautifully read it: mashed potatoes and chicken nuggets. I'm not having ed potatoes and chicken N, which makes no sense at all. Perfect. So now we have this figured out. Let's move on to the inventory tracker. So I'm going to go ahead and use this F column here as a spacer. I'm just going to leave it here so I can space out some stuff, some distance between the next columns I'm about to make. Now I'm going to make this a kitchen inventory, right? How much seasoning and how much meat, leftover meat, are you hoarding in your kitchen? Let's find out here. All right, perfect. So with this 3 cells here, I'm going to pick 3 and exactly 3 columns. I'm going to merge them together. We're a master at this now, right? We're merging things. Merge. Now I'm going to steal this formatting here. So it's 24 bold. So let's change this to 24. I'm going to keep it consistent. You know me, I love consistency. Bold and make it middle. Now I'm going to resize G just a little bit, kind of like double. And I'm going to title this title inventory. So, or actually item / ingredient, not inventory. This whole section is the inventory. So we're at 14 size here. Let's do a 14. Actually, I'm going to format them all together. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now. And I'm going to just leave these, like, you can just leave them empty because you're going to fill this out yourself if you're using this to keep track of your kitchen inventory. And then we're going to have quantity here. And then you're going to have a location. So I'm going to go ahead and change the alignment here to vertical center. I almost said vertical center. Change the font size to 14. Bold it real quick. And I'm going to change this location a little bit higher, a little bit bigger. So now that we have this, you can go ahead and change the color of the cell to whatever you'd like. I want to change it to green because why not? I like green. So quantity, item and ingredient, and location. Perfect. So what can you do with this, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually select a couple of these locations. So I'm just going to select it all the way down, right? Why not? Select it all the way down. I'm gonna hit insert, and what I'm inserting exactly is actually a drop down function, not a drop down function, but a drop down. Click drop down. Now you can have many different options here for your drop down, but you want to make sure you can kind of sort where your locations are, right? Where your items and ingredients are. So for example, you want to go ahead and type in freezer. You want to type in fridge. Next location could be the pantry. Next location could be the spice rack. I don't know, wherever you store your stuff in your house, just keep them here. You know, maybe I'll do super secret snack drawer, which is accessible to me and me only in the house, which may or may not be true. So for freezer, I'm gonna go ahead and change the colors. You can go ahead and color code these however you like. Fridge, I'm gonna make maybe I'll make the freezer like an ice color, the fridge like a blue color, pantry like a green, spice rack because it's spicy, we'll like it red, super secret, we're gonna keep it purple because it's like, you know, mysterious or whatever. You can allow multiple selections, but I don't recommend it. You know, your item can only be in one location only. Like, how can you have something in the fridge and the freezer at the same time? Makes no sense. Anyways, what you can do with this now is you can start tracking your ingredients. So for example, you have eggs. How many eggs do you have? Well, I have maybe 18 eggs. I don't know. And where are they exactly? Well, they're in the fridge. I hope they're not in the freezer. What do I have? I have ice cream, right? How many ice cream do I have? I have 6 or 5 ice cream, because maybe let's just say I ate one. May or may not be true. And it's in the freezer, right? So you can go ahead and keep this nice kitchen inventory here. Now, last but not least, what I want to do is I can also make a shopping list with this. Now, I can keep it. I don't need to do all that work again. I can just kind of copy this. So if I'm lazy, I can go ahead and copy this. Now I can resize the J into a smaller column here. And now I can paste it here, and look what happens. It becomes a kitchen inventory part 2, which, you know, I obviously want to change it up a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over here, slide it down a little to the right. I'm just gonna start changing stuff here. So I don't want a second kitchen inventory. I want a shopping list, right? So let's do shopping list. Now we have this item, we have in quantity and location. So I'm gonna change the color here so we're not confusing ourselves to maybe red. You know, it's red because we don't have the items yet. We want to shop for it, whatever. Now this is almost done, right? But now what we can do is we can actually change this drop down. So if I just grab this drop down, I remove them, right? So it becomes an empty cell here for these columns, or for this column and all these remaining rows. And what I can do is I can actually do a couple different things. Now the first thing that you can do is you can actually make a location and actually add smart chips on your Google Sheets. So you can actually put a place down of where you want your supermarket to be. So for example, you could do Target, right? Target, I don't know, in Los Angeles. And you can go ahead and, you know, look at this, and this is where you will buy your eggs, right? You can drag it down if you have more things from Target, and this is where exactly I'm going to grab all my Target stuff. And then I'm going to go ahead and, you know, I could do another smart chip, for example, of a place. I can go to Safeway. I don't know where's the nearest Safeway. We'll do a Safeway San Francisco, right? This is where I'm going to get, for example, my ranch. I don't know, but you could see, like, you can do it this way of a location and having smart chips, so that way you have the actual location. When you click it, you actually know which Safeway or which Target you're going to. Or one way you can go about this is, I'm gonna go ahead and select this. I'm gonna go ahead and hit delete. You can go a little bit more generic, so I'm gonna go ahead and select this location tab. I'm gonna hit insert. I'm gonna hit drop down again, but now this time I'm gonna make the options into the supermarket options. Put 5 or 6 of your favorite supermarkets that you usually shop to. So for example, Target, we'll do Walmart, we'll do Safeway, we'll do Costco, we'll do, I don't know, a couple other things like Vons, we'll do a Publix, for example. I don't even have Publix in my area, but we'll just put it there in case I want to go to Publix out of state. Now you can go ahead and change, obviously, the colors. Target's red, Walmart's blue, Safeway's red. You get the gist of it. You can go ahead and change these colors however you want. And now what you can do is you can actually go ahead and, you know, start picking which location you to shop at, basically. Now, the next thing you can actually do as well is you can also have another checkbox here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. So this is location. I click the location, hit this blue icon here, and just expanded it. And you could hit done. Now, when it's done, you can have a checkbox here. Obviously, if you shop for it, you can actually print this shopping list and bring it to you in person if you want, and check it off as you shop. And what you do is you can go ahead and select all the rows here, hit insert, and then hit checkbox. Boom, you have a virtual checkbox, and also a checkbox you could print out, use a pen and paper, and just start marking them done or not done, however you want it. And don't forget, you can also merge and re-merge this shopping list title here. So perfect, now that we have this, let me show you exactly how you can print them out. So usually what you want to do is, I don't think you can print this out realistically. I don't know if you want to print them out like in this specific fashion, but what you can do is you can go ahead and select the different different cells, hit print. So I'm going to hit file, hit print here. And what I can actually do is, instead of printing the current sheet, like printing everything, we can just print that cell selection. So click this and hit selected cells, and you can see that it only prints that meal planner. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't print everything. Now, if you want to print meal planner and kitchen inventory, you can. What you can do is print, file, print, same thing, selected cells. Now you have the meal planner and the kitchen inventory only. Or what makes sense as well is you want to compare inventory with shopping list. What you can do, again, select these, print, and change the print here to selected cells. Now you can take this to the supermarket with you, compare what you have at home, what's in your shopping list. Sometimes you may even think of things on the spot when you're shopping that you don't have on the list, but you're like, oh, I don't have that in my kitchen inventory, maybe I should buy it, right? Like some snacks or whatever. Also, don't forget, another thing that you can do as well with these cells is that if you want to add borders to them to make it a little bit more distinguished on which cells are which, you can go ahead and select the cells that you want to be bordered, and then hit here and hit borders, and you could do all borders. So now your meal planner would actually have these black lines on them. You can go ahead and also change the border weight. So if you want to make it a little thicker, you can, right? It's like this. So again, it's completely up to you how you want to format this meal planner. Same thing with kitchen inventory, right? If you want to make a list that you can actually keep track of and have a more visible border, you can go ahead and still also do the same thing. Turning all the borders on, again, changing them to thinner lines. If you also want to resize the columns here in case they're too small or too smushed, you can go ahead and do that by changing the font size. Or you can go back and right click here on the rows, like 3 to 31, for example, until the end of this list. Right click and just do a resize to maybe 25, because the default is 21. You can see here it looks less cramped, and it gives your meal planner a little bit more space as well. Completely up to you, but again, the choice is yours. It's very, very flexible on how you want to format it, but the practicality is definitely there. Oh yeah, also, I almost forgot one more thing. You can actually easily sort the kitchen inventory and the shopping list to however you want it. So let me show you exactly how that's done, by the way. If you want to sort by location, for example, like you want to know everything that's in your freezer, everything that's in your fridge, right? If you look at this list, it's a little bit messy, right? I'm just gonna put some arbitrary numbers here. It's a little bit messy, but if you want to sort it, you can go ahead and select all your kitchen inventory. So you can, again, just drag it all the way down to however many rows you have. You may have more than me. Again, you can easily make more than me. And you can go to data. You're gonna click sort range, and we're actually gonna do advanced range sorting options, right? Now, if you look over here, you can see that we want to sort it by location, and location is in column I, right? So what you want to do is we can click here and we hit sort by column I. You don't have to click data has a header row because we're selected it just from the data itself. But if you want to select it from the very top title, you can as well do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit sort, and look what it does. It nicely sorts everything together, right? I'm going to do exactly the same thing from the shopping list. So I'm going to go ahead and click all the data only. Again, I'm not touching the title, okay? I'm just starting from the data, dragging all the way down, all the way to done, right? My last column. Again, I'm going to go to data, sort range. Keep in mind, sort range, not sort sheet, okay? And you want to do advanced range sorting options. The reason why I'm not clicking column K is because you're obviously just going to be sorting by name, right? I want to sort it by location. and that location is in column M. So I'm going to hit advance here, click column M, right, like this, and then hit sort, and you can see here everything sorts. So now we have a nice list of what I want from Target, what I want from Walmart, right? So I'm not just cross-checking and going through every single row like, okay, this is Target, this is Walmart. Everything is nicely sorted, and that's exactly why we're using Google Sheets for this purpose. Now, if you find this meal planner, kitchen inventory, and shopping list useful, don't forget to hit the like and hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys all in the next video.